The News Channel 5 Network. This is OpenLine.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to OpenLine. Glad you're with us tonight. Tonight, we're talking about one of those things that's difficult. We're talking about renewing your vehicle registration. We all have to do it. It's a difficult thing often, but we're going to get into some detail with that. And we're talking with the person who oversees that in Davidson County. And we're talking about the county clerk. Very happy to have with us Brenda Wynn. Thank you for coming on, the county clerk.
Thank you for having me.
The Davidson County Clerk. And so people say, what does the county clerk do? I kind of spoiled it. You oversee vehicle registration renewals. That's kind of your big thing.
That's
right?
the largest. That's the most demanding thing that we do. It takes up the bulk of the. Well, it is the bulk of the work we do there in the county clerk's office. Is to title and register motor vehicles. And
now also business licenses and a host of other things. But we can start with the renewing of vehicle registration.
Right.
And so you've done this job for a while. You've done it since 2012.
Right.
And we'll talk about your background and how you got into the job a little later. But the essence of what you want people to understand right now about, you have to renew it every year. What is it you're wanting people to understand about that process? Well,
the first thing I want to say to people is that I understand that you come not because you want to, but because you have to. It is not my rule. It's a rule of the county and of the state that you have to come in and register or renew your registration each year. So what I want to say to you is that you can come into our doors, you can get that done physically, in person, or you can access our services in other ways. We have a mail service that you can access. You can mail in your renewal notice that you would get from the state, along with your check to pay for your registration. There's always a modest fee that's associated with that. This year, the fee went up a little bit because we were issuing new plates. And in order to mail you your new plate, it cost us $4.50. So we had to assess a fee, and that fee that we assessed this year was $5. So for $5 over and above your registration, we will mail you your new plate. And so I want to say to people, take advantage of that, because sometimes, and especially on days like today, today's the last day of the month, we expect long lines today, and we are always, our expectations are always met. Yesterday, during the lunch hour, people lined up, and the lines start out early in the morning. People line up first thing in the morning. We can get you in and out first thing in the morning. I want to say to people that if you come at the lunch hour, just know that you might have a little bit of a wait, because state law tells me that I have to let my people go to lunch. So we have fewer people off providing the services during the lunch hours. And so I want to let you know that there are better times to come. If you come between, I'd say, 8:45 and 9:15, likely chances are you'll walk right in and right out.
See, now this is important. This is news you can use, and I think it's important that people understand all of this. Now, how many offices do you have around Davidson County?
We operate 6 locations. Our main branch is at the Howard Office Building, 700 Ronald Reagan Way, Suite 101. We have an office at the North Police Precinct, the Bodenhammer Police Precinct in North Nashville off of Clarksville Pike. We have a location at the Green Hills, in the Green Hills area at Grace's Plaza. We have a location at the South Police Precinct on Harding Pike. We have a location at the Hermitage Police Precinct on James K. Road, and then we have a location in Madison on Heritage Drive. So we've got 6 locations around the city.
And how focused are you? I mean, I guess there's a complaint. I guess one would be the cost, and the other would be having to wait.
Right.
So how focused are you on trying to get the wait times down? Do you have an average wait time now?
Well, we don't necessarily have a wait time, but we are looking at automated systems that will help us know how long that wait time will be. At some point in time, in the very near future, we may be introducing a system that would allow people to queue up to be served, and in queuing up to be served through automation, through technology, through your phone or online, it will be able to tell you how long your wait will be.
Oh, really? So you
yes.
can look on your phone.
We are
see,
absolutely looking at systems like that.
And really, what's most important is you want to encourage people, because, I mean, I don't think anybody loves getting this in the mail. You got to renew your tag. You want to encourage them to do it by mail, do it online, and don't come and stand in line.
And let me just say, we have kiosks at locations around the city. This year, when people had to get new plates, it meant that you had to physically come in, or we had to physically mail you your new plate, unless you had a specialty plate. And if you have a specialty plate, I want to remind you that there are 8 kiosk locations around the county where you can walk up to that kiosk with your registration notice, scan it, pay by credit card, and walk away with your sticker. It takes all of 45 seconds when the system is working. And I always had that. When it takes all of 45 seconds. Again, we've got kiosks at library branches around the city, and in some of our locations, we've got kiosks in the Graces Plaza 7 days a week. You can walk into Graces Plaza up on that second level and renew. And after the first of the year, after new plates are issued, when people won't have to come in to get the new plate, you can walk up to one of those kiosks and renew with your old registration. There's a barcode on it. You can scan that, and again, in about 45 seconds, walk away with your sticker.
That's new, right? So we've all gone through getting a new plate. So we've all had to walk up and get our new plate.
Right.
But now you're saying you can get that sticker just at one of these kiosks.
Next year, you can get that sticker at the kiosk. You don't have to physically go into a location. You can mail your request in. You can renew online, and we will mail you your sticker, or you can walk up to that kiosk and get you that sticker.
Now, dazzle us with some numbers here. How many license plates were issued in Davidson County? Because I look around and I see a lot of cars. So how many people are coming through your office in some way, shape, or form every year, or last year?
Well, and I don't know that all these are related to individual people, but state records told us today that 835,000 plus tags have been issued this year.
So that's astounding.
Yes.
That's a ton.
It's quite a few. Quite a few.
And so, do you have any idea the percentage? I guess what does your gut tell you, or do you actually know the percentage of people who do that by standing in line, the percentage of people who do that by mail? The kiosk maybe wasn't an option, but I would think 835,000. A lot of that's being done in person. Is that a fair statement?
A lot of that's being done in person, but what we've found is that with us educating the public about the existence of online and mail renewal, we're seeing those numbers go up. There was a time when we could expect somewhere between 15 to 20% of the people to access our services via mail or online, and I just believe that that number has gone up to somewhere in the 30 to 40%. We have staff. We've got part-time staff who do nothing but make sure that those plates get in the mail, and we're just spending more and more. We're seeing more and more people access those services. We're trying again. Using online and mail renewal services will save people time. They can skip the line. And I just think it's the best way to access our services if you are a busy person in the city of Nashville.
And so there's somebody out there who's uncomfortable with that for whatever reason. They've always done it by coming and standing in line. You would say give it a shot, and it should work. They're worried maybe it won't get there in time or whatever. You know, what is the turnaround time? If I wait to the last minute, you know, what's the turnaround time?
One of the things that we were trying to advertise usage of this service, and I was talking to a gentleman and suggested that he try it, and so he did. And he called me 2 days later and said, I got my plate. And I said, but it doesn't always work that way. He said, but I got my plate. And I said, I'm glad you got your plate, but it doesn't always work that way. Our goal is to try to get you your plate, if you renew by mail or online, within 10 business days. That's our goal, to get that plate to you. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, our goal is to try to make it as efficient for you as we can, to either mail the plate again or to figure out a way for you to come by and pick it up.
And that's what so you get this in the mail. And again, I get it in the mail and I always I'm not excited. You know, I gotta go, oh boy. And I kind of put it off to the side. I'm like, okay, this is gonna mess up a day. And maybe just turn around. You're saying it wouldn't take a lot of work to just turn around, do what you need to do, and put it back in the mail.
Put it back in the mail, and now that you don't have to get the emissions test, that's a whole nother step that's been removed from the process. This year, the fact that you don't have to get the emissions test eliminates that one step in the process that you had to do before you could mail in your renewal in the past.
I forgot about that. That's a big deal.
That's a big deal.
Because that did take a long time. Because that's a whole nother line.
It was a whole nother process that one had to go through in order to get to be ready to get renewed. And so that's been eliminated this year. So again, when you get that card in the mail, get you a 50-cent stamp or 51 cents.
A forever stamp.
A forever stamp. There you go. That's a good one. Get your forever stamp, put it on there, mail it to us, and we will process it and get it back to you in as quickly as we can.
What is the situation with cost? You obviously don't set the cost, but what are the costs, and walk us through as best you can, if people have questions about it, about cost.
Okay. This year, the price of a regular plate was $60.25, and that's starting July 1 of this year. The state waived their state registration fee, which was $23.75. So to renew a regular plate this year is $60.25.
What if somebody is struggling to come up with that? What do you have that, and is there help, or what about that?
There is not. And I am sorry to say that there is nothing that we can do. We can't waive the fee. Hopefully there are other services out there that might be able to provide that kind of assistance, not-for-profits and the like, that could help someone who's struggling to get that money. Because again, I know people, as I say, they don't come because they want to, they come because they have to, and lots of times they come when they can afford to. So it's being able to afford to come in. But again, this year it's the $9 fee that used to be associated with the emissions test has been eliminated, as well as the state registration fee of $23.75.
Okay, so $60. All right, well that kind of sets the table for our discussion. So.
Okay.
I now encourage you to call in. If you have a question or thought or whatever, call in. This is your chance to talk to the county clerk. We will take a break, and we'll come back. We'll come back and continue our discussion with Brenda Wynn. Be back right after this.